before the call here, we talked about you have a Veterans Day event or coming up, part of the association. You want to tell people a little about the event coming up for veterans?
You bet. So we're the lake itself and the community here at Lake Almanor and Chester and the surrounding towns is extremely lucky to have. If I want to kind of toot our horn here a little bit, they have an organization that's been going for about 40 years here, which is called the Almanor Fishing Association. And 38, 39 years ago, was started by two gentlemen that used to own a resort that no longer exists over on the East Shore called Lassen View Resort. It was kind of a
Okay.
place, Reuben and Jim. Unfortunately, Reuben's not with us any longer, but Jim is still an honorary board member of the group. And they had the foresight and wherewithal with them, along with a couple other avid local fishermen and community support people, to start this nonprofit organization. And one of the first things that they undertook was a cage raised or pen raised trout program
Okay.
right in the water of Lake Almanor. So you can see it from the Hamilton Branch Bridge just down from 147. If you drive across, it
Mm-hmm.
looks like a big floating dock complex out there. But every year, our association raises 50,000 rainbow trout in 10 of the pens, and somewhere between 8 and 15,000 fertile brown trout in the other two pens. It's a 12 pen complex. So it is regarded and ranked as the longest running, most successful cage raised trout program in the state of California. So that goes a long
Great.
way here. But over the years, the Almanor Fishing Association, while obviously focusing on fishing and fish and the lake,
Mm-hmm.
sort of developed into a larger encompassing community organization. We enjoy tremendous support from the community around here. And some of the outreach that we do is we do scholarships to graduating high school kids. We support a program that was started by our biologist from Fish and Game, Amber Mauser, called Fishing the Fourth Grade. So once a year, every fourth grade student in Plumas County goes fishing for a day, and it's a great deal. They bring in a truck, of course, and plant a bunch of hungry trout, and then the next hour or next day, depending on where it's at, we bring the kids in, and our organization is just thrilled to be able to have the opportunity to supply her with some of the manpower to pull that off. And
Wow.
about, I'm gonna probably guess wrong, but I'm going to guess 3 or 4 years ago, one of our longtime serving board members, in fact, the president, came up with an idea that wouldn't it be cool if we'd be able to supply every fourth grader with a brand new rod and reel? So since then, through the generosity of some donors, our association has literally bought. We just picked them up the other day for this year. Um, Rod reel combos, brand new, ready to fish. And at the end of their day out fishing with the Fishing the Fourth Grade program, every one of them get a brand new rod and reel to take home. And it's our hope that that sparks some interest and get them interested in the outdoors and fishing specifically.
I love that. Love that.
That's a great youth outreach program that we're proud to be assisting Amber with. And then, gosh, I should know this. Like 8 years ago, 9 years ago, I forget where we're at in the scheme of
Mm-hmm.
things. Um, we had a place that unfortunately was taken away from us by the fire that was a pretty special place here called Quail Lodge.
Okay.
Uh, a few of us that called it home officially or unofficially were sitting around one afternoon, and I believe it was a guy by the name of Duncan, who's a huge supporter of ours, said, what we ought to do is we ought to get a bunch of veterans and take them fishing. And we said, that sounds like a fantastic idea. Let's do this. So from very humble beginnings, which was contact a few veterans that we know, put them on the boats, take them out fishing, and then hustle back to the lodge so we could get barbecues fired up and have a little barbecue for them, has now expanded. Like I think, of course, we had to take a year off for COVID.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're this is our 8th year coming up, but it might only be our 6th. You know that. And it's turned into the premier veterans fishing event that happens in Northern California. Last year, we had just over 130 veterans on 55 boats on the water
Wow.
fishing. And it's quite a sight. And at 11:30 in the morning, we meet over to a place near the West Shore called, what's technically called Goose Island. We call it Flag Island because there's a flagpole on it with an American flag. And right now, it's not even an island.